Sati, thank you for coming today for the interview.
Thank you for calling me.
Before this interview started, you were sitting there singing something which was absolutely beautiful. Would you mind sharing that before we begin for the benefit of those that are watching the interview?
With my pleasure. So this is devotional song, which calls bhajan. It connects with the Hindu tradition and Jai Radha, Jai Krishna, Jai Vrindava, Shri Govinda, Gopinatha, Madan Moha, Shri Govinda, Gopinatha, Madan Moha.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I can hear you put everything you have into that, and there's a lot of love and devotion. Can you speak to me and to everyone about the love and devotion and how that's important in your work as a singer?
So now, as a singer, I dedicate myself to my new project, which calls Sati Ethnica. Last, let's say, 6, 7 maybe years, I'm developing that project. And that it's more than just project. It's more than my project. It's more than me, you, and all of us. And that makes me so happy. Because before, I was singing pop music, and I was not so happy with that.
So there's obviously been a change in your career, pop music, to now, yeah? Yeah? So let's have a look at that early career. Can you tell us a little bit about your early career, where you started, so that we can then have a look at how things have changed?
So professionally, I did start 2002. So I moved to Moscow in 2000, and I was looking for, any kind of chance to become popular. That was my main goal, to become a superstar, or at least star, and so on. And it's amazing how God planned everything. So I became a part of the project, kind of reality show. It calls Star Factory. It kind of Star Academy in France was, so this the franchising of that big project. Kind of The Voice, but with many people. So I went through that project, and in the end we won like a girls band, and I spent in that girls band 8 years. We were very popular, and we were the band was successful and popular, about 8 years. So in 2010, I left that group, and that time was quite a crisis time for me. And
before you speak about your crisis, we'll have a look at that. Until 2010, what was the lifestyle like?
Ooh, you can call it sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Because you see, I was so young, and finally I got what I wanted. And I wanted to, when you finally got some drink, what you were longing for, you just drink like crazy until you become like, ugh. That's what I was doing. All these parties and everything. So I was like trying to take everything possible from that crazy superstar life. I had everything like money, admirers, this, that, popularity. And I was very welcome for every kind of, very special parties and events and so on. But it was party life, about 8 years. And I was enjoyed in the beginning. And then little by little, it started to bring me disappointment, like something wrong in all of that crazy life.
So it didn't satisfy?
No, and it even was dangerous, because you see, when you're so young and your surroundings are taking some alcohol or even some drugs, you want to do the same. And I started. And thank God, I had one accident when after crazy party, after all the sex, drugs and rock and roll, I fell down on a glass table. I broke it and I cut myself badly. And when the ambulance just they drove me to the hospital. They made that, how you call it? They stitched me. It was exactly right under my left, how you call it? Buttocks, yes. And I remember that evening, that it wasn't evening, it was actually morning of next day of party. It was very morning, about 6, because we were having fun and party until 4. So at 6, about 5 it happened, about 6 I was in the hospital. And I remember one of my friends asked to the doctor, like, oh, can you please teach her nicely because she's an artist, she's a singer. Said, does she sing with her ass or what? It was heavy. And it was kind of, humiliating, let's say, the situation. Not situation, but I went to the, I fell down to the very
So this
bottom.
event triggered the descent?
Yeah, yes. That was the very finish. And I'm so happy, I'm so grateful to God that He gave me that experience to stop me. Otherwise, I could continue. I remember when I came back from the hospital, I couldn't even move properly because it was quite painful. I couldn't sit, I couldn't lay, I could just stay. And I was looking at myself in the mirror and I started to cry. And that moment I remember very well. That was that turning moment, the switching.
Did you know in that moment what the future was going to hold?
No, I was just crying and praying. I prayed, please take me away from this life. I don't want to live like this. I see that I will be destroyed. This is the beginning of the end. Please stop me. Please give me another life, another way. Show me another way.
So what happened then?
Then a few things started to change, I'm telling you. And I met one man, I was in love with him. He told me, oh baby, you have to try yoga because your spine is a bit the scoliosis or something like that. That was the beginning of my yoga. In the beginning, it was a physical aspect of yoga. But anyway, when I started to practice Hatha yoga or Ashtanga yoga, and I was reading some books about yoga, and that was the remembering. I knew that there is something. And that was the beginning when I started, in that yoga classes, I heard first time mantras. It was just background music of yoga class. I was like, I love this music. I love that. That vibration started to call me. I was like, wow. It was about 2005, 2006, probably. So, yeah, that was the beginning. That essences, the music, that yoga itself. That was like, I knew that. This is mine. It was like I did it before, and then somehow I forgot about that, and then I remembering that was my yoga.
So there's something deeper to the yoga and the chanting. What is that you connected with, do you think? What did you connect with? Because it's not just the physical, as you say, it's not just the physical, it's not. What did you connect with then that made you feel, I'm home almost?
Yeah, that was a feeling of home. Not completely, because complete feeling of home I felt later when I met my guru. So that time before I met my guru, it was like the sweet remembering of something, of feeling of home, sweet calling of my homeland. And what was the experience? Now I can say that was the very first experience of meditation, of the self. When you do yoga, you are just, even the physical yoga, it's the Hatha yoga, and thank God I had good teachers, even in a group. I was very focusing on myself, on my breathing, because the breathe as Atma Kriya Yoga says, this is the bridge between your mind and conscious. So that was the very first moment when I started to have a deal with my conscious and focusing on my feelings, what my body feels, how my emotions react on that feelings. That was a beautiful journey.